Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder, the place where we pull back the curtain on corporate filings. Today we are looking at Bowen Acquisition Corp's quarterly report. Turns out, deciphering this document is like trying to assemble furniture with instructions written in another language. We're diving into why their financial picture looks more like a blurry photo than a sharp image. Before we decode, if you like getting clear insights from complicated corporate documents, hit subscribe. The Discord channel link where you can chat with other investors is in the description below. Let's dive right in. This is a Form 10Q, which is a quarterly report that public companies must file with the Securities and Exchange Commission, the SEC. It gives investors a snapshot of the company's performance and financial condition every 3 months. Think of it as a progress report card for how the company is doing. This report covers the period ending March 31, 2025. We're getting a look at Bowen Acquisition Corp's financials for the first 3 months of 2025 to see if they are making smart decisions. Bowen Acquisition Corp is what's known as a blank check company, also known as a special purpose acquisition company or SPAC. These companies are formed to raise money through an initial public offering IPO with the goal of acquiring an existing company. They don't have any operations of their own when they go public. Instead, they're essentially searching for a business to buy and take public. It's like starting a treasure hunt without knowing what the treasure is. One of the key things to watch with SPACs is the trust account. This is where the money raised from the IPO is held until the company finds a target to acquire. It's meant to reassure investors that the funds will be used for an acquisition. Time to check out the financials. This is the main attraction in these reports, where we can really see if the company's promises are matching reality. Okay, so let's start looking at their balance sheets. You will notice it contains data from March 31, 2025 and December 31, 2024. First, cash as of March 31, 2025. The company had about $29,806 in cash, which is way down from $103,774 cash across the board since the company is using up its cash reserves. Their investment held in the trust account also fell sharply from $75,794,241 at the end of last year to only $9,372,109 at the end of March. It looks like they took a lot of money of their trust in connection with redemption. More on that later. Now, this balance includes ordinary shares subject to possible redemption. These are shares that might be bought back from investors, so they're classified kind of in between a liability and equity. Note the shares decreased from 6,905. This decrease came from the public shareholders redemption we've mentioned. Then they account for additional paid in capital and accumulated deficit and calculate total shareholder deficit. Next, let's check out their profit and loss statement, or as accountants like to call them, the consolidated statements of operations. Are they making money or losing money? How much are operating expenses? How much interest are they earning on treasury bills? Let's check this out. Looking at the statements of operations, we're comparing 3 months ended March 2025 versus March 2024. It gives you insights into the company's profitability or lack thereof over that first 3-month stretch. In 2025, they had a net loss of $2,039,1997, while in 2024, during the same period last year, the company actually had net income of $796,362. It is a big difference, but it's interesting to dissect why this is happening. The good news, interest earned on investments in the trust account fell sharply from $923,490.21 to $397,321 in 25. This is directly tied to the amount of cash and securities that were in the trust, as we said before, much decreased. So it makes sense. The bad news, they had a very large loss on issuance of FPA liability. More on that later. Finally, it's very important to monitor the earnings per share, since that tells you how much each share earned in this period. You got the financials, now we will check out the notes. The notes section is where the company explains its accounting policies, its deals with other entities, its debt, and everything that you don't easily find in the main financials. It's where the story really comes together. The company was formed to find an existing company to merge with, buy stocks of, buy assets from, or other combinations in order to essentially take it public. They're not limited to any particular industry, which makes things interesting since sometimes you want expertise within a certain sector. The company has a limited time to complete this acquisition called the combination period. If they don't complete it within 18 months from their IPO date, they have to return the money to investors. It is like a pumpkin that turns into a carriage after midnight, so try to find something nice to turn it into. On January 10, 2025, the company had what they called an extension meeting. They called this meeting in order to extend the time to close the business combination. An aggregate of $6,150.95 public shares were redeemed at a price of approximately $10.99 per share. Following the redemption, wanted their money back $190 and approximately $9,390 back. The reason they wanted an extension is because they are proposing a business combination with Shenzhen G Biotechnology Company. Basically, Bowen will merge with another company who then becomes public. The problem? They need to get all approvals necessary. Important thing the company mentioned during this reporting period is this: prepaid forward purchase agreement. Under this agreement, some investors will purchase shares from public shareholders that want to redeem their shares in connection with the business combination if the details get quite involved. So let's just say this is essentially making sure someone backs the deal. This agreement, however, triggered a large loss of $1,929, triggered a large loss of $1,929,656 T133622s to negative send 2,000. The details get going to redeem 9 alpha $9029, a sixth than 62 tree net income, so down from 786. That quite involved, so let's just say this is essentially making sure someone backs the deal. This agreement, however, triggered a large loss of 1,197 of operation section, which drove net income so down from 786,362 to tick 52 to negative come say 2,070 86,300. Now, there is something quite serious in their filing, their going concern consideration. This is where the company admits if there is substantial doubt it can continue to operate. And it gets worse, since as of March 31, 2025, the company had cash of 29,809,008 and 6 DAS, as we also mentioned, and a working capital deficit of 2,600. Doubt it can continue to operate. Unless someone injects cash in it, this company may go down. Time to look at related party transactions. This is very important. It will explain which entities are related and what is going on with all relatedness. On October 14, 2024, one of the other entities gave the company a $500,000 loan to get an extension by promissory note, and it bears no interest. However, in connection, one of the sponsors transferred 30,000 of its founder shares to EBC, which sounds dodgy. More like a workaround to give a compensation of some kind without calling an interest. Who knows? In addition, the company has a contract with 10x Global Capital, a related party, which is a bad of red flag because it creates potential conflicts of interest. And according to the agreed terms, they must pay $5,250 quarterly for a service. Is this really happening? They are working with EBC as an advisor for the business combination. In short, these guys get paid a percentage of the IPO amount and the total consideration for the business combination. So basically, it is another expense for Bowen to operate. So that's the story of Bowen Acquisition Corp's filing. This filing shows a SPAC struggling to finalize a deal while burning through cash. Investors got spooked, the trust account is shrinking, and they are depending on related party transactions to get by. It's a pressure cooker situation. Now, zooming out, where do I see Bowen Acquisition Corp headed? Frankly, it looks like they're in a tough spot. The clock is ticking on their combination period, their cash is dwindling, and their dependence on related party deals doesn't inspire confidence. I do see some good effort, but will it materialize? What happens when there's no one to rely on? My view is that you should stay cautious. This one is a bit too risky for my taste, especially with the looming going concern warning. Too much up in the air. Alright, that's our deep dive into Bowen Acquisition Corp's quarterly report. I hope you learned a lot about Bowen and the process of checking a financial report. What's your take? Drop your thoughts in the comments. If analysis was helpful, hitting that like really helps, and subscribe for more deep dives. Don't forget to subscribe and check out for the Discord discussion in the description. Thanks for watching. See you next time.